Okay, and we are back. Hold on, I need to rename. Alright, wait a second. Okay, so I am back. We are currently. I need to see if the sound is working properly. Hold on a second. Okay, Bert. First, is the sound sounding better now? I just had to make a couple changes, and I wanted to see if it is sounding any better. Hello, Leon or Leo. Uh, just wanted to check, is sound coming out of both the left and right now? I made some changes to the audio. Okay, fair enough. Well, we have people in the mobile phone, so I am going to take the Mazda 787B out to Spa. So I guess I'm getting a bit of a spa vacation on my spring break. So, uh, hey, Synth Bent, how's it going? So let's have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna put it on a green track. And I just want to check, make sure all my controls are set up. Boom, 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 boom. And shifters. Okay, we're good. Alright, alright, alright. So, why is it always freaking reset to optimum? There we go. Alright, taking the Mazda 787B out on vacation to the spa. So this is my first live stream in possibly 2 years even, because I think my last live stream was doing an hour and a half of Project Cars when it first released. So this is going to be exciting. Oh, gotta love that quad rotor sound, guys. Yeah, buddy! Let's put in first. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. You'll let me know, hopefully. Oh, yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. So, for those of you who don't know about the history of this car, it was actually developed by Patrick Sanders, and then Kunos went to him, and they basically took over the development and made it into a first-party car. Hello, Lumen. Oh, yeah. This is definitely fun to drive. Really does feel like the modded car back in the past. Definitely has a bit of that understeery feel to it, which I believe the car in real life actually had as well. You guys can quote me if I'm wrong. But, oh yeah, I love this car. This is one of my favorite Le Mans prototypes. It just had that unique factor where Most of the cars back then in 91 were V8 powered. This pushed the envelope with a quad rotor design, and that sound, it's like demon bees on crack. I know that's the weirdest thing ever to say, but I think that's a pretty apt explanation of it. This is definitely a blast. Get a little bit of slide there. I can feel a little bit of what Kunos did to improve this car, and that really feels like that extra bit of polish. Lumen, this is the Mazda 787B. It is the car that ran in the 1991 Le Mans 24-hour race, and it won. It was actually the car that caused rotary engines to be outlawed in 1992. This car wasn't the fastest by a long shot, but it actually was more reliable and got better mileage, if I remember correctly. So it had to make less stops and end up winning that way. Oh man. Love taking the turn in this car. Thank you for the advice, Tomaski. However, my name is actually William. My middle name is David. But something funny is back in junior high, I wanted to sort of reinvent my image, and I decided to go by David. But that idea quickly went down the drain when in my science class, I had 5 classmates in that class named David. So I decided, yeah, I'll be unique and just stick with William. Ooh, a little bit of power on oversteer there. This car, definitely a blast to drive. And all things considered, it feels relatively planted and easy to handle, dare I say. Back in this day, there were a lot of turbo cars. I mean, Formula One was going with turbocharged cars, such as the Lotus 98T. Granted, that was a few years before this, but the torque curve on that was absolutely insane due to the turbochargers on that car. This is a totally naturally aspirated car, and it just means you really have this power on a linear curve, per se. Another fun fact I heard is that theoretically this rotary engine was capable of 900 horsepower, but they decided to scale it back to 700, and that meant that you had more reliability. Hey Edgar, you didn't really miss much. I just started driving the car and was just talking about some fun facts about how the car and its history, how it caused how it caused crap. How it caused rotor engines to be outlawed from Le Mans competition in '92. And Mr. Al, I am quite satisfied with the pedals so far. I just talked about them a little bit in my previous test drive, which I put out earlier today, and they are incredibly smooth. They are incredibly fun to drive. They are incredibly smooth, especially in the brake, where you are able to modulate it really well, like so. I have the pedal bars on the top right, so you can look at how I'm modulating. But one of the things I was most pleasantly surprised with was how you modulate the gas. At first, when I tested out the pedals, the throw was a little short for my liking, so I lengthened it to the maximum. Right now at the maximum, it feels like it might be a little much, but I can really modulate the gas really well now. Really allows me to roll onto the gas out of the corners, be smoother out, and in turn become a faster driver. Also, these are a blast to heel and toe in. Let's take a Rouge. Woohoo! It's funny, you can just hear the creaking of this engine. Or not the engine, but you can hear the creaking of the car, where it's fun to drive, it's reasonable, but it still reminds you that this is a piece of tech from 1991. That is an older car than I am. I was born in '93, but it's crazy thinking that this car is 26 years old now. I would have loved to see this car racing live at Le Mans or Spa, but I will settle for this experience here. But yeah, with the club sport pedals, I would say, since I can modulate the gas less, I can really modulate the gas and brake well through the tighter segments on this track. It makes me more comfortable, makes me smoother, and it just is a blast. Large Lima, I apologize if I get the name wrong. One of the reasons this might look a little slower is because I'm actually using a triple screen setup. So the field of view is about 3 times wider than you see on your screen right now. I only have this capturing the middle screen. And if you consider, like in a real car, if you look out the side mirrors, it looks much faster than if you look out the front mirror. So there is the sense of speed, but it just looks slower because you're only looking out of 1/3 of what I'm seeing. I'm going to try to figure out a way to see about getting all 3 screens on future streams, but for now I just have the single screen. I wholeheartedly agree with you, Verdonk. I wish I could have seen something like a Formula 1 car with these rotors. Just imagine that sound. Would be a heck of a lot better than those V6 vacuums that they have right now. So after this, I'm gonna do one hot lap with this car. I'm gonna just shut up and drive, and then I am going to switch to the next car. But man, this leaves me with a good taste in my mouth, guys. This is a blast! Woo! Leo, after my lap, I'll answer that question. So had such a good lap going, and then I just blew it. But, okay, so to answer your question about Formula One, I would say the issue is roughly threefold. The first issue is that there is only 3 out of the 19 races in the Americas, and that's counting Montreal, that's counting Austin, and that's counting Mexico City. So with that being said, you have 3 races that are in America. So that leaves, I believe, 19 races, or it's either 16 or 19 races that are in Europe. And, or actually not just Europe, but in Asia. But essentially, there doesn't really interest Americans too much when there are other series that are basically worldwide. The second issue is there is so little media exposure covering a Formula One race in America. So even when the races are in America, you don't hear about it too much. I'm in California, so I don't really hear too much hullabaloo about a race happening in Texas. So I would say, if you consider America, USA, is a huge country. Theoretically, I could see 3 races being held in the U.S., and it would be reasonable, per se. Because there are a lot of different races that could host a venue. I would love to see F1 race at Long Beach, and that would be a huge spectacle. That would be a solid street course. And then a third issue is so many of the races are basically, you don't really have the opportunity to really see them live. For example, Memorial Day weekend is when one of the biggest Formula One race is on, and you have to wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m. to catch the race live, because if I remember correctly, the race is about 12 or 1, and you have to wake up about 7 or 8 hours early to be able to catch the race or something like that. So that really is a turnoff for many, because when you catch it on American TV, it's essentially a rerun. So I'd say those are the 3 reasons on the top of my head where it might be off-putting to Americans. And then surround all the stuff with F1 drivers not really having as much of a personality as they used to. You don't really have the Senna versus Prost rivalry. That was iconic in F1 history. You don't really have Lauda versus Hunt. When last year, if you consider, we were given Lewis Hamilton versus Rosberg, which just did not have nearly as much gravitas as some of the iconic rivalries of the past. So if the drivers had more personality, if there was sort of like looser like regulations and things like that, then I could see why Formula One could become more popular in the States. But I see the groundwork being laid down for F1 becoming more popular in the US. And time will tell, and I'm optimistic at seeing what Liberty Media is going to do with the sport. And 2017 will be a good measuring stick on how far F1 is going to progress. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up this lap, and then I'm going to go test out the Miata. I will say one thing that's funny is seeing me answering the questions before they're even asked. I answered Leo's questions before he asked, and Large Llama? That is a pretty epic name. Okay. So, let me just grab the mic. Not mic, the keyboard. Oh, this is a fun car. Oh, it's Large Llama. My bad. Hey, 221 around Spa. Not too shabby for a 1991 race car. Now, let's grab the Miata. Fun fact, the first generation Miata was the last car my grandfather owned. I believe he had it in Laguna Blue. And he actually, he was 6'7", aka 2 meters. So just picture him fitting into a car this small. Let's take it on the hill climb. I believe I was talking with Edgar about it, and he was like, yeah, you don't need a windshield at that point. John, I'll do a Formula One car later. Right now, I am just highlighting some of the new cars released in the latest patch. Okay, so this does feel similar to when I drove a Miata, though. I've test driven a couple. I was considering buying a 2016 Miata for my latest car, but I just felt it wasn't going to be too practical for my day-to-day needs. And I decided to basically upgrade to a new car. Hold on, are they saying my screen is frozen? I apologize about the screen. Hold on, I will fix it real quick. Ay. Sometimes I just hate this delay between seeing the chat and basically the stream, because there's about a 27-second gap and I then see what everyone says. Okay. So let's just see what's going on here. Is this really still acting up? Dang it. Ay. The dangers of live streaming. Hold on. Let me see what I can do. I'm working on relaunching the game. Let's take a look. Let's try something out. Okay, turn off the display, turn it back on. Okay. Let's see how that works. Fingers crossed. Okay, it looks to be all right now. Let's try restarting. Okay. Is it loading? Let's see. OBS. And now the sim. Okay, so there we go. It looks like it's working now. So, get behind the wheel. Edgar, you haven't seen nothing yet. Okay, so now let's take the Miata for a spin. Is it stuck again? Okay, no, never mind. Okay, so as I was saying before, my grandfather had this as his last car before he died in 1991. He had the first gen Miata, which that used the 1.3, or I think it was the 1.6 liter inline 4, which had about 100 horsepower. And then this model in the sim is the 1.8 liter model, which has about 130 horsepower, which is about 20 more than my first car, which was a 1971 Datsun 510. This car is definitely, you want to keep the momentum up, which is almost impossible with using with the hills and hairpins. And yes, I am using a Fanatic Club Sport Wheel V2, but I am going to be receiving a Club Sport Wheel 2.5 to review in the near future. And it's kind of funny though. I actually was using this to review, and I had it in my car taken to where I was going to film the review, and that day the 2.5 is announced, the 2.0 is canceled. So with that being said, I contacted Fanatic. The PR guy was on vacation for 2 weeks, so I had to wait 2 weeks to get a response, and they said that they will send me the 2.5 to review, and they will have me do it from the comparison standpoint of going from the 2.0 to the 2.5, and I am looking forward to that. And in the United States, the Club Sport Wheel base is $499. This universal hub with the rim I am using is about $399. So for the wheel side, you are looking at around $900 for this as configured. You can get the CSL P1 steering wheel for $89 in the US, and that would give you a price tag of around $600 with full configuration. And then I believe the 2.5 when released is at the same price. So that is $89 for the rim, and then $499 for the base. Yeah, Leo Bonar's wheels are pretty freaking expensive. I contacted them about an idea for a review, and they basically said they might be able to work out a discount plan and see about that. So I might look into that possibility, because my vision is I am receiving another cockpit soon from Visara, which is a high-end cockpit manufacturer. So I have that. I have the Usingfeld Engineering pedals. I believe in the near future they're going to send me the Usingfeld sequential shifter, but I think I'm going to be getting a shifter from ProSim in not the UK one, but the Norway Pro Sim. And that would be solid for sort of having a consumer level rig for testing out the day-to-day for the community, and then I would also have the high-end setup. However, I'm still looking at a high-end wheel to augment that setup, and I am talking with some companies about that, but I think it would be interesting to see how the high-end compares to the consumer level. Large Llama, this wheel rim, I want to say is 320 millimeters. That would translate into about, I think, 13 inches. I'm not certain. I went to public school. I don't know metric conversions off the top of my head. But I will also say that that I'm going to do an experiment in the near future. One of my friends / former bosses, he actually runs a racing oriented apparel website, and he also has some racing connections. I'm eyeballing this Sparko rim that he has, and I'm looking to possibly see if that'll fit on the universal hub. So that could be an interesting experiment to see how it compares with this leather Forza Motorsport rim. Yeah, Tomsky, I'm hoping they bring out Direct Drive this year too. I'm trying to throw my name in the pot for a beta test, but we'll see. Like, I will say that it would be nice. I had my video earlier on speculating what the Fanatic Club Sport Direct Drive, whatever they call it's going to be. If it's going to have console compatibility, that could be a major boost for the Direct Drive market. There was also the speculation that Thrustmaster is going to have the Direct Drive wheel as well. I am not sure. Now that time passes and we've seen more of it, I'm getting a little skeptical of if it is a genuine Direct Drive or if it is something lost in translation, because all that we really have to go off of with the Direct Drive claim is a translated quote from Kazunori Yamauchi, and who knows, that could have been mistranslated. So time will tell. I would love to see Thrustmaster and Fanatic duke it out with Direct Drive power houses, and we'll see what happens. But my thoughts on this car is it's a fun car to drive. It genuinely feels like a road car. It feels a lot similar to the Miatas I've driven in the past. It feels even also similar to, say, a depowered version of the Toyota GT86, which I drove a couple of. For example, my friend had when it was called the FRS, and unfortunately he had a brake failure and he drove it through a fence and into a house, but like, all things considered, he was safe, and like cars are expendable, like them or not, and I'm thankful that he or his passenger wasn't hurt. So those were fun cars. I hate to see one totaled, but rather the car than my friend. Okay, so after this car, I'm gonna take out the Porsche and Any suggestions for tracks on where I should take the Porsche out to? It's funny because in this car, if you throw it in first, you can get a little power on oversteer with 130 horsepower. This car just handles amazing though. El Bucho, I already did spawn in my first test with the 787B. Green hell, that could be interesting. Okay, 2 votes for the Nordschleife. By the way, one thing I want to recommend to you guys, if you like the Nordschleife, it's that CXC Simulations put out a video with a former Maserati test driver, Josh Allen, and he was walking us through a lap of the Nordschleife, and he did that with an interesting pair of glasses which tracked where his eyes were going. So that was a cool video to watch, and that you can find the link on the website, and the link to my site is down below in the description. Oh, Lucho, sorry about that, but hey, there is a rewind button. Starting to work a bit of a sweat. But I guess I will take the 911 RSR to the Nordschleife. But yeah, Lucho, I've heard great things about the V2.5 so far. Fanatic gave me a list of a lot of the changes they made, and it sounds like they're looking to try to alleviate some of the issues that I wouldn't say is limited to the V2.0, but it's limited to most force feedback wheels, such as the oscillation, which is something I just really hate. And where, say, in the V2.5, it sounds like they have some like motor firmware tweaks that helps alleviate that. Holy power on oversteer in a Miata, Batman! I heard that there are some firmware, or not firmware, but some updates that need to be done in the future to support the LEDs, because there are some firmware changes in the V2.5 as opposed to the V2. Large Llama, I recently actually put out another video discussing that topic about displays, and in my opinion, note that this is my opinion right now, I prefer triple screens. And my main reason for that is you have so much more usability with triples beyond gaming. For example, editing videos. It is a lot easier with triples than a single, and I don't think I'd even want to try it in virtual reality. So there's that. Multitasking, researching, doing things like that. Triples has that usability. Virtual reality, very promising technology, very exciting. I've tested both the Oculus Rift, HTC Vive. I even got to test out Ace Combat 7 with the PSVR, and that was a total blast, even though I was scared that I was gonna fall off of a stool. And with that, you have all this exciting tech, but right now it's a little bit ahead of its time I think it's going to improve as time goes on, but right now you are quite limited with the limited resolution. I'd say one of the things I don't like is a lack of peripheral vision, and with that, you're going to see a lot more technological advancements as virtual reality matures as a platform, and then I would be able to give it a more wholehearted recommendation. If you have money to burn, if you are willing to experiment, if you want to be on the bleeding edge of technology and are willing to deal with a few gripes, a few hiccups, then I would say go with virtual reality. You would have a blast. But with how it is right now, I'd say stick with the try and true, stick with triples, and you might have fun. I forgot how long this course is. But hey, a lot of fun. Reminds me of this drive I love taking. It's called Sonoma Mountain Road. I live in Sonoma County, so I'm about half hour away from Sonoma Raceway. And there's this road that takes you through the mountainside. And it's very windy. You drive through a redwood grove, which is absolutely stunning. And you just have a really intense driving experience. The only thing I hate is when you get stuck behind a car or something and you can't get around them. Woo! Just finished. Whoop whoop! 16 minutes, 18 seconds. Not too shabby. Okay, next up we're going to take the Porsche around the green hell. God help us all. I believe you can if you have a headlight button mapped. I don't believe I have a headlight button mapped right now. Let's see. Oh, I do. Woo, 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 woo. Awesome. So you can put the headlights down. All right, now let's set up the Porsche. For this, it's going to be on paddle shifting because I believe that's what the car uses in real life. I know this car has been eagerly awaited by a lot of GT3 fans. Let's hope it does it justice. Okay. Viking Elite PC. I am currently using the Fanatic Club Sport Wheel version 2.0. I will be getting the V2.5 in the near future to review. I haven't done too much racing this year so far in a while, El Bucho, but I'm definitely open to doing races with the community. I am starting to get back into iRacing. I also do Assetto Corsa online. Also, R Factor 2 is another sim I enjoy. I need to get back into Race Room. It's been a little while, but that's also another title that is going to be great. Excuse me. Ooh, that interior though. Very pretty. Oh, love that sound. Flat 6, great sound. Actually, hold on. I'm going to put a little more gas in. Alright, Viking. That's good to hear that it is an improvement over to V2.0. So I will definitely keep that in mind. So let's fill it up to 70 liters. What the heck? Okay, so now watch me make a fool of myself on the Nordschleife. Get situated. I don't know if it's because of the stream, but I apologize. It's a little stuttery. Usually I've been able to run it just fine at 60, but it could be just the stream. It's nothing too too detracting. Still feel comfortable with it. Oh, it glitched again. Hold on. Let me fix that. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Let me fix it. Okay, let's fix it. Is it working now, guys? Okay, it looks like it's working now. That's good. It also feels smoother frame rate. Yay! I apologize if I do not respond to messages. I think you can understand why. Really have to focus on the green hell here. But, oh man, this car is definitely lovely. Whoever asked about AI... Oh, downshift protection, that's new. Sorry about the frame rate. Driving and talking on the green hell doesn't work. It's not pretty, but it works. Totally missed that apex. But there was that instructor that talked and drove around the green hell. And he seemed to do a decent job. I've likely done hundreds of laps around. Oh, crap! Okay, I guess that answers your question. It doesn't really work. You guys are gonna laugh. Okay, hold on a second. Large Llama, Viking Elite. It took years of practice and failure to be able to talk like this. It's going to require a few more years to be able to drive better. If you guys are looking to try to figure out how to tackle the track, check out my website. I posted a video that had Josh Allen, former Maserati test driver and Ferrari Formula One mechanic, and he walked us through a lap of the Nordschleife. He used the Ferrari 458 Italia race car, and it was definitely fun to watch. He also had an interesting pair of eyeglasses where he had tracked where exactly he was looking and gave you an idea on how to see the track, possibly in a new way. I would love to tackle this track in the van, or just do the Sabine Schmidt lap. See if I could get it in her time, or even if I was maybe like a minute and a half, 2 minutes off, I could still be a little happy. Oh, this portion is my least favorite. It's the one I struggle the most with as of right now. I have improved on it lately, but oh man. I will try to figure out how to fix the frame rate though. I'm sorry guys, that is quite frustrating as I decide to mow the lawn. But this is like my first time live streaming in 2 years. I'm using OBS Broadcaster. I'm using a GTX 970 graphics card that basically is working well, but I might try running it through my Elgato capture card, see if that works any better. Larger Llama. The extent of my racing experience is the Jim Russell Racing Kart class. Oh. I did the Jim Russell karting class at Sonoma Raceway. Okay, thank you for the input, iRazor. But I did the karting class at Sonoma Raceway, and I actually got wrecked. I spun out on the final turn trying to avoid a girl who spun, and I got hit by a Formula One, or not Formula, a former NHL hockey player. He was at the class just having fun. He spun out, forgot to lock the brakes, and backed into me. Nearly broke my arm, but hey, I was all good. Got the cart repaired, and I was good to go for the next session. Downshift protection. I might turn that off. If they keep the beep and not the screen indicator, that might be nice. Okay, 9-minute lap time. Let's see if I can do better. I mean, I'll obviously do better because of I stopped to fix the stream, or fix, so to speak. But man, this is one of the trickiest tracks in the world. No doubt about it. I will say triples does help a significant amount. I have not tried the pit stop with the new update yet. And then Larger Llama, yeah, that's you. I have not, I don't really bother too much with subs in Assetto Corsa. In iRacing, I at least try to look at the forums and seeing if there are any decent baselines, because a lot of the iRacing baselines are not really good for racing. I did a GT3 race around Mosport, and I really struggled because the baseline wasn't too optimized for the track. Oh, I completely missed the second line of that question. For real racing, I have no experience with real racing in the way of having setups, because my real track experience is limited to 1 day class of karting. I'm looking to change that in the near future, but time goes on. All things considered, this lap is pretty clean so far. Ah! Off the wall. Okay, still good, still good. When I'm not streaming, I tend to try to find a half-decent setup, at least for iRacing. For Assetto Corsa, I tend to find it's easier just to jump in and race. Okay, through the carousel. Remember, keep fighting, Michael. It's definitely interesting hearing about what's all going on with Michael Schumacher. I definitely wish him the best in recovery. It definitely sounds like there has been progress made. I do respect the Schumacher family basically wishing for their privacy on the matter. If I was in their situation, I'd wish for the same thing. But hopefully someday we'll see him back. Because I just think it would be amazing to see Mick Schumacher in an F1 race with his father watching. I think that would be awesome to see. So after this, I think now that I've ranted about Ferrari a bit, I am going to take one of the Ferrari Formula 1 cars out. I think it's fitting. I'm not sure if I should weigh in on the greatest F1 driver debate, but I will say that Senna and Schumacher were definitely some of the greatest of all time. It would have been amazing to see what Gilles Villeneuve would have done if he didn't pass early. Jim Clark is another great driver that comes to mind. Mr. Brightside, I am using OBS to stream. I'm sort of new to OBS, but I am learning. I apologize for the choppiness. Hopefully I'll get this dialed in as time goes on. But so far, so good. Fangio, definitely a great driver too. Okay. Blue LEDs, I believe, are possibly the downshift warning or something. I'm not sure. Okay, so hold on 1 second. I'm gonna grab the formula rim so we can give this a test. I will be right back in a second. Thank you for any insight, Mr. Brightside. I will see if I can configure that right now. Hold on. Right side up. Boom. And it's in. Okay, so let's see. Frame rate limit to 60. Let's give that a try. And okay, Large Llama, glad to have you watching, and hopefully we'll see you again in the future. Hold on a second. Okay, Edgar, good seeing you. Have a great night. I'm on spring break, so I don't have school. Okay, so let's try the F1 car around... Let's do Red Bull Ring. I'm a fan of the track. It's tricky at times, so let's see how it goes. Let's do a fast track. 1:30 p.m. All right, looks good. Hey, Edgar, what did I do to you? Mr. Brightside, for me, I don't see much in the way of input lag. I'm not sure if that's partly because of the monitors I'm using. I am using BenQ monitors that I bought off BH Photo Video. They have 2 millisecond input lag, so I don't know if that causes any reduction in the input lag, but so far so good. Okay, let's make sure everything is going before I set off. Crap, looks like it froze again. Hold on 1 second. How about now? Please work. Okay, we're off. This thing's a beast. Thank you very much, Mr. Brightside. Every subscriber helps and keeps us on track. Lame pun intended. Whew. You barely have time to think in this car. Dang it! Cold tires! Maybe in the future for streams I'm going to reduce the bit rate a bit. Maybe that'll help reduce the choppiness. But all things considered, this is pretty darn fudge! Dang it! Woo, whoa. Oh. This car is scary! Mr. Brightside, thanks for the offer. I will say email would work best. You can shoot me an email at william@simracingpaddock.com. That is, again, william@simracingpaddock.com. Always power on oversteer out of turn one. Quick reflexes needed to catch that. I think after a couple more laps, I'm gonna wrap up this stream. I have to work on some homework during spring break. Kind of sucks, but I am in a film class in addition to this, and I have to submit my script for my short film, and then see where it goes from there. Fun fact, I did a short film for school, and it's going to be in my local film festival. So it's cool to see diversifying skills. My thought is taking that class will help me learn how to conduct myself both in front of the camera and behind the camera. So I felt that's a valuable skill to learn, and hey, it's having fun while at it. But sort of funny having my school endorse a film that had the premise of a condom joke. Yep, my school made a short film that is an adaptation of a condom joke. You don't see that every day. Okay, time for a hot lap. Oh! Crazy wheel spin in third gear. I'm definitely looking and trying to do a community race. I might talk about it in the forums. I'm sort of sporadic on live streaming. I mean, this is just partly a test stream for the heck of it. But, hey, it's working pretty well once I dial in the settings and everything. So, if you guys are interested in signing up for the Sim Racing Paddock forums at simracingpaddock.com/forums, or just go to the site, click on the button that says forums, I can possibly start a discussion about trying out a community event. And we can look into that. Okay. I've got it around on me! Oh, whoa, whoa! Oh, that was nuts. But yeah, make sure to subscribe and follow the site, and I will try to post information about hosting a community event in the near future. Okay, I'm going to do one more lap of this car and wrap up the stream. So I'm just going to shut up, do this lap, and let's have fun. That's a good run going. Dang it. Well, that's not a fitting end. I'm gonna give this another try. Get one lap to put things together and then throw one more lap. Yeah, wow, boys, can't save them all, I guess. Could be a lot worse. This is definitely a tricky car to master. I will say that. If you push hard enough, make sure to get a good exit off here. Cut that mode! Power! I know that was a poor Jeremy Clarkson impression, but let's hope it pays off! Power! Gets so much wheel spin in second gear, it's almost tricky to, yeah. Didn't get that drive off, but hey, still a good lap. 1:15.001. I will take that to the bank. Woo! What a rush! Now, thumbs up if you understood that Moto Racer 2 reference. Actually, no, it's Moto Racer 1. For those of you who don't know, Moto Racer was this classic motorcycle racing game for the PC, and there was this moment where if you raced at top speed or did a wheelie for a while, the announcer would go, "Wow, what a rush!" But hey. Thank you, Mr. Brightside, for the email. And thank you for watching, and I'm just going to pull this car into the pits, and I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm streaming for an hour and a half now. But hey guys, it's been real, it's been fun. Jury's been out, and if it's real fun yet, but man, yeah, I need to do, whoa! Okay then, did not expect that. Okay, let's pull into the box. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to doing more of these as time goes on. And remember, stay tuned for Sim Racing Paddock for more exciting things to come in the future.